The RSI Apollo is a medical ship that serves its purpose well. It has the amenities needed to take care of patients and down fighters, you know, that kind of thing. But in my opinion, it's the epitome of a design of a ship that could have been so much better, and it just missed the mark, in my opinion. The ship morphed over 7 years from a medium ship, and it stuck to its original concept design on the exterior, and it looks great. And they kind of stuck to the original artist rendition of the interior. But it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, in my opinion. And there's a whole lot of wasted space in this ship. There's no arrangements for an onboard medical team. There's no arrangements for, what if the ship is going to pick up a bunch of wounded Marines and immediately dust off? There's no seating. There's no seating for anybody other than the pilot and the co-pilot. So it's the flow of the way people would come on board and exit doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. You kind of started to have a cargo bay, but then you didn't. You created like a space vagina in the back, and it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, when it could have been so much better. Like if somebody was going to sit down and design a ship and it was going to try to go to a service, you would want to be able to maximize all of the available space. If not, then to shrink the ship, make it smaller so it's less, it's a smaller target and more maneuverable. But it's just things like that. I would implore you to reach out to these content creators and people that are really immersed in this, and ask for feedback. Hey, what do you think about this? Before you boom, commit to a design, because it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It's a gigantic ship with a couple of medical beds in it, with that and a lot of empty space. I just think it could have been better. I think what you put out, the ship itself, what it does and how it looks, but I just think, man, it could have been a lot better, and I'll leave it at that. So without further ado, y'all, let's get to the review, and thanks for watching. All right, so we're going to start at the front and we'll work our way around. Up front, we have two size 4 Rhino repeaters, and man, this ship looks good. And right up here is our forward entrance. You hit that button and this comes down. Look, then this comes down. It looks really, really good. And I love it has buttons right here that you can push. Well done. Well done. The exterior is immaculate. A little bit of lighting flicker from my hanger, but yeah, man, this thing looks great. And look, they've got these little winglets right here that they fold down when the ship gets airborne. Man, it's just looks sick. Kind of look at the engine nacelles. This little thing right here, I guess it's like a little antenna. It'll pop out when we raise the landing gear. Just again, looking at the engines and nacelles, it looks so good. And we'll work our way all the way around. Right here on the rear is the access for the ramp. One thing I didn't see, oh, here it is. It should be the fuel port, I'm guessing. Yeah, there it is. Perfect. Close it. All right, cool. And we'll take a sneak peek into the landing gear area. It's missing like it should be some type of hydraulic ram right here, but whatever. I guess they're using DC motors or something, some futuristic, I don't know. Either way. Moving on around to the starboard side. Same thing. It's identical. There's no real difference. It's just looks really, really good. And if you look down in here, Yeah, it looks so good. There's that winglet thing that folds down. And it's got the wee woo lights and all that stuff. Here's the forward landing gear. They're basically identical. And that's it. That's really all you're going to see. There's not much to do except get in it, really. We're going to start up at the front. And I really like this. I really like the flight station, bridge, whatever you want to call it. The flight station is really cool. Got habitation for the 2 crew members. It has a little head right here. Basic head. It's got food services, microwave, I take it, and something else. Then 2 beds, one on the port, one on the starboard side, a place to eat, all the amenities you would expect. It has 450K of storage, almost a SCU. And that's pretty much it. You know, it looks really, really nice. Then up here you have the pilot and co-pilot seats, and you can fly the ship from either side, which I think is a pretty nice feature. Go over the switches that are available. So we have exit, emergency lights on, so you can turn the emergency lights on. Enter the remote turret. Open the exterior. So if I open that, open exterior, close exterior. Okay. And then you have, that's it on that side. And over here, let's see what else we have. Engines on, flight ready. And that's it. If I turn the power on, only 2 MFDs. It does throw one up there. Let's see. This looks a little different. Let's see what we got for pips. 2 coolers. This thing's got 4 shield generators. So you can adjust your however you want. Okay. See the inner. You can turn the emergency lights on. If I go to exterior view, see now the wee woo lights are on. Now the cool thing is, if I'm going to take off a little. I'm just going to lift off real quick. Oh, let me lift off, pull the nose up. You'll notice I raised the landing gear, and I'll lower it so you can see the stuff that moves. You see all the antennas and stuff that move. Let's come to the front. I want you to see that. You see all the antennas that protrude. Okay, look at the winglets. That's very cool. Very cool. I like that. System off. It's like a shotgun just turning the engines off. It's kind of weird, but whatever. And then if we get out of the pilot seat, and we'll go over to the co-pilot seat, so at least you can see this button, these so retract rails. That way you can just walk around in here. You don't have to run into that. You don't have to walk around it. That's pretty cool. And if you want to send the elevator down, you can send the elevator down. See, that's pretty neat. You could do an EVA from right here. I think that's pretty slick. And we call the elevator back up. Comes back up. Boom. We can send a retractor rails. Nicely done, CIG. Let's check out the CoPilot seat. The same controls, but I'll go over to switches, open exterior, enter remote turret. This one has except for this one, you can get to the remote turret. If we do that, and now you have access to the Gatling guns. There you go. Remote turret. Pretty neat. I didn't mean to get out of the chair. I wanted to get out of the turret. I suppose that at some point in time, when you select enter remote turret, there'll probably be an option between the Gatling gun and maybe the drone, when they bring the drone online. The flying gurney, whatever you want to call it. So over here, engines on, make flight ready. Engine. It's basically the same components, except for the CoPilot can enter that remote turret. I thought maybe the pilot could. Am I mistaken? Did I missed something? I may have. Yeah, it has it right here. I thought it did. I thought they were identical. Okay, that's what I thought. All right, so that's the flight station bridge, whatever you want to call it. It looks really good. There's nothing else really in here, and it just looks good. It looks really, really good. You do have a fire extinguisher. Moving back here, I would call this a midship. I don't know. You have a component bay. It's got engineering stuff, shield generators, power plants, all that kind of jazz. With an engineering terminal. I wish we could move this to a different location. I'll talk about that why in a minute. But moving back, we enter the business, what the whole purpose of this ship is for, and this is the medical bay. Currently, I have the ship set up for a tier. This is a tier 1 bed, and these are tier 2s. The tier 3 would have 3 beds. Just coming in here. You look around. It's this. These are modules, obviously, and we can put Medgel canisters. We can store Medgel canisters right here. Okay, that's what that's made for. We have patient storage, which is like 150 SCU, which is micro SCU, which is basically a backpack's worth of storage, more or less. Well, depending upon the type of backpack. And then you have this enormous head up here, which is, we'll talk about that in a minute. It has like a little storage cubby for some other things. I don't know. Good place to, it's a medical refrigerator. Good place to keep your cold beverages. Here's the tier 2 bay. So the thought process, you would have you got 2 patient storage cubbies, a little non-functioning screen that looks amazing. It looks very well in place. Another medical refrigerator. And then you have over here on this end, more cubbies for Medgel. And here's your Medgel receptacle that you would put your Medgel things into. Where's the one over here? I didn't see it. Maybe I missed it. Is it in the bed? Oh, maybe you can help me out. Well, where the canister goes? Does it go right there? Is that the slot for it? I don't know. I don't see it. I thought it was this. But okay, but I digress. We'll move on. That's the 2 different modules. We have the skylight, which is nice, I suppose. Back to the back. We got our fire extinguishers, our door switches, yada yada. Then we have these big areas back here for storage. This thing will hold 32 SCU of storage. We got suit lockers, gun lockers, and then we've got more stuff, shield generators, and we have basically it's a carbon copy footprint over here, except this one has another engineering terminal, more shield generators, suit lockers, storage. Okay, cool. That's whatever. Moving back, we have this area here that is supposed to be a place that you can hook up to a space station, or I guess maybe another ship with a dock. It's a docking port with a really nice elevator in this little tiny area here, right here, which we can take advantage of. And that is the ship. There's 3 different modules, and so look, and the way you access it, I'm not going to access this ship because it's loaded up, but what I can do is I can access the triage. So the triage, you can adjust these modules right here. So the modules are adjusted like right here in this area here. That's how you do it. So I've got tier 1s loaded up on both ships right now. That's the interior view of the ship. All right, guys. So now what I want to do is I want to talk about the problems I see with the things that could have been done better with this ship. Not that it's going to amount to a hill of beans, but I just think it needs to be said. Starting off, this platform I'm standing on. I get what they were trying to do here, but this is retarded. Okay. This, you basically gave away a storage area for this thing right here. Okay. Look how big this should have been. I think this cargo area should have come all the way out to this bulkhead right here. Right. And you'd had all this room. There's literally nothing over here in this void right here. Nothing. It basically all this right here is just wasted space. And along with all this, okay? So what would you recommend we do with this? Let me tell you. I'd be happy to tell you. This bit up here, that port should have been right here. Take all of this mess that's right here and get rid of it and move it to the back. And that entrance should have been right here. Just like on the Zeus, right? That's where it should have been. It should have been a port, and then there should have been a ramp that went down. Just like that. Make it just like this. Put that monstrosity right here. And there's a reason why I recommend you do that. So make it like a clamshell deal with a drop down ramp, and or maybe an elevator that goes down or something. But a ramp would have been simple, okay? But this is the reason why. Take this head right here and pull it out of there and put this head. Get rid of this door in its entirety and put that bathroom right here. It only has to be a small one, maybe by half the size, okay? And that's it. So the thing is you're bringing in wounded right through that door. They come in here either left or right, and then once they get healed, they got to turn and go back out. Well, there's going to be people trying to come in while they're trying to go. No, so the logical progression would be they would come in, they would get fixed up. There would be 2 doors, a door here and a door here, and then they would exit right here, boom, right out the ship, not interfering with anybody else coming in, right? So this whole area right here is wasted. Right here, you can't really do nothing with it. So this is meant, and they said it in the video, this is supposed to be a triage area. Okay, that's great. But there's only two crew members on this ship, just 2. So even in the videos, there's other medics. There's more than 2. So there should be a medical team being deployed with this. But there's no seats for them. There's no seats anywhere. There should have been jump seats, even if they were just like something you sit on with a seat belt. You know, there should have been jump seats somewhere. But this spot right here should have been a medical crew area, a small little hab for the crew members, for the medical team, right? This right here should have been our this area right here. All this area here, back here, at least along down this wall, should have been our engineering. Move all of that engineering stuff to this room right here. Put it on these walls, and you could have had a little bit of storage. Not that we necessarily need it, but you could have used it for that. But at least these walls, you could have even still left some of the other engineering panels on this wall. But this really needed to be a hab for our medical team, right? So the other thing, so you're bringing all these injured people and they're standing in line, right? They're going to be dragged in here. Why couldn't we have like a set of jump seats that deploy up that people can sit in? If you picked up a team, where were they going to sit at? Because I know for a fact, this is the part that gives me, this is the next thing. I noticed because I know when I was changing around the habs, around the modules, I could see down to the bottom and see all of this from that level down all the way down is empty. There's nothing here. I'm having trouble with these. But since I'm having trouble with it, look underneath this ship. You see this big open space down here that they didn't utilize? It's humongous. And it runs all the way back to here. All of this space, it's almost, this thing could have been 2 decks. So there's room for at least maybe like right in here, a set of jump seats that come up, kind of like the jump seats in like a C-130 that line the walls. It just pops up, and then you got a place to sit if you do pick up a bunch of Marines or whatever the case may be. You know, it would basically start right here, just a couple, just a place for these cats to sit. If you have to have it. This right here, if this was all the cargo deck and you had to walk up into it, because honestly, all that needed to go away. This ramp thing right here could have started right here, where you would typically start one. And you could have had all of that room for a proper cargo deck. But now you got this, I know I referred to it something else earlier, but you got this thing that's just not usable. You can pull 2 SCU containers in. That's great. I mean, it's better than nothing, but that was the things that I feel like the opportunity was missed. I mean, it fits between the rams barely. So, anywho. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to fit, but wouldn't it be cool if it could? All right, guys. So now I wanted to test, like what fit. What else could you use this thing for besides just going from point A to point B and picking up somebody? Could you use it for something else? And the fact that this thing can carry can carry up to 16, or was it 32 SCU cargo? There's options to carry size 2s, I believe. But I wanted to show you like what'll fit. Obviously the URSA Medivac behind me is not going to fit, but some other ships will. So let's check that out. So the little space bikes. they'll fit. They'll fit just fine. So what we're gonna do is, they're very spinny and all that. I don't recommend you try to fly them in. You'll probably end up dying. Okay, so just use your max lift tractor beam, and you can pull that thing right in, no problem. All right, so you got one. Maybe you got a buddy. It's good to have a buddy, and you could maybe you want to bring your origin X1 force in. It wasn't too long ago that this thing couldn't be manipulated with a tractor beam, but it can now. Just they're very fiddly though. Very fiddly, but oh, this door. All right. So yeah, you could put that in here. So what else can we put? I bet we could put. So we got the X1 force in here. What else can we stick in here? I bet the Dragonfly I go. Now the Nomad, the CO HoverQuad, it will fit, but it is very difficult. Just due to the sheer size of it. They're really stupid. And so they do really dumb things. But what we're going to do is, can we pull it in here? And this is the HoverQuad. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, the HoverQuad. HoverQuad fits of those, and I'm wondering if the Dragonfly is going to have a similar problem. It's just due to the size. It's pretty tight, man. I'm not gonna. If you fiddled around with it long enough, you could probably make it work. But I'm gonna say no to the Dragonfly. The HoverQuad will fit. You can get it in there, but it is a booger to get it in, and nearly impossible to get it out. These aren't so bad. The biggest issue is this door. This door doesn't stay open, so it doesn't give you a whole lot of time to manipulate this thing. Come on. There you go. All right, the next thing, the two things that you might could stick on there, you might want to consider is the Greycat STV. It'll fit. It'll fit just fine. Close. There we go. No problem. So the STV fits no problem. And then it'll allow you to run about a little bit. Carry a little bit of carry a little bit of stuff. You and a buddy could put you got room for a gun. You got a little bit of storage, not much. There's a little bit. You can put them little micro containers in here, and let's see, open storage. that has like 125K, like basically a backpack's worth of storage right there. So it's better than nothing. But I think that this right here is going to be, if you're considering running bunkers into at least going into areas where the turrets are actually working, this could be a really good option for you. And it fits fine. Boom. Look at that. No problem. So the little Drake Mule is just a winner, man. This thing, if it it'll hold six of the little micro containers, and then one SCU of storage. It'll hold it right here, so you can put one SCU storage container there, and then you have look, you have 750K there and a gun rack. Cool, huh? And as fast as all get out. This thing is stupid fast. And there you go. So, but here's the interesting thing. Oops. You can carry ATLSs, right? And you can go mining in this. Now, I don't know why you'd want to, but you can carry an ATLS. So if you wanted to try to repurpose this into, like, say, if you wanted to run bunkers, I mean, you've got storage here. You can put storage containers here, and you got a tier 1 med bed. So no matter what happens to you, no matter what injury you get, you can fix yourself and go back to doing whatever stupidity you were doing prior to it. Or you could respawn right there in it. So if you're not running any medical missions, you could just be doing that if you wanted to. I really wanted to talk about what else could I do with this ship. Could I run bunkers missions in it, HRTs, MRTs, that kind of thing, things of that nature? And yeah, you can. You absolutely can. And that's why it was like really high on my list when I was putting together that video of potential bunker running ships. This was the one I was waiting for. I was waiting for this ship to come out. Oops. Okay, so there's the potential that this thing could have fit. It fits between it'll fit between the hydraulic rams for the door, right? There's the potential. The potential is there. How cool would that have been? That the Apollo, which is a medical ship, could deploy a medical vehicle. All right, here's an 8. If an 8 won't fit, nothing else. A 16 won't. A 24, you know what I mean? You can put it right there. Nope. So that's no joy. That I think they did that. They did that just to keep people from turning this thing into a shipping cargo ship. If this won't fit, that won't fit. So you're relegated to using twos, and hell, I don't know why you don't make a cargo version of this. I mean, dude, how much room did you have? So it's a large ship. You get rid of these stupid doors. Here's another thing I don't like about this ship. These doors, they need to have a switch where they stay open, or locked closed. So yeah, so you're going to be left with you're going to be left hauling twos. That ain't that. They fit fine. So that line there. Oh yeah, no problem. Works great. I mean, you could fill this whole ship up with twos if you wanted to, but nobody's going to do that. You know how long it would take to do that? I mean, it would take it's not worth your time or effort to do it. So I'm back on Star Citizenship's performance viewer website, and I've got the Apollo Triage loaded up here. Here's the Medivac, and then for just a comparison, I've got the C2 loaded up. And you might, well, why did you pick the C2? Well, look at the flight characteristics of these ships compared to a C2. I will tell you, in the downward motion, this ship feels like you're flying a Connex box. I mean, it doesn't handle very well. Just letting you know, you're not going to jump in and take off, and it's not going to perform like an Asgard. It just doesn't. I'm not really sure why it flies that way. I would expect it to be a lot better, but whatever. I really want to get to address the only main differences and kind of the differences of this ship between the Apollo Triage and the Medivac. It really is 3,000 hit points in hull durability, and then 8 missiles. That's really the only difference in a paint job and the cost. But other than that, the flight characteristics are so similar that it's not even really not really even discernible. I'm just not sure why is there 2 of them. I can't figure it. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but they have all of the components on the inside. If I go back and I show you, if we go back and look at the components, they're exactly the same. There's no real discernible difference between the 2 of them. So here's the Medivac. I don't know why it's all highlighted in blue, but they're all civilian size 2 grade C components, all of them. Everything is identical. If I pull up the Triage, you see how nothing changed? The only difference between is the Triage comes with these M5A cannons, these size 3 cannons, where the Medivac has a Gatling gun. That's it. There's no other real difference between them. Is that and $30. So I'm just like, why did we make 2 of these? I don't understand it. All right, guys, so we took a look at ship performance viewer, and as you can see, the flight characteristics of these 2 ships, the Medivac and the Triage, are nearly identical. There's not really a whole lot separating them. It's probably not even discernible And I can tell you from my experience flying them, they fly like a brick. They're not very, they don't handle very well. I mean, yeah, you can move them around, but you better be really careful in the takeoff, especially in the landing. When you're trying to land, go slow. It's very similar to the C2. You saw it in the performance view. The numbers are the same, are very similar. But really the main thing, you know, I wanted to, that really kind of just bugs me about these two ships is, why is there two of them? When I first started looking at this ship and I first started hearing about it, I'm like, okay, what's the difference? Which one's better than the other one, or why would I choose one over the other? And there's really 8 missiles and 3,000 hit points in a different paint job. The Medivac has a little bit more quantum fuel. Not much. So I guess my point is, like, why was there two of them to begin with? I don't know. Maybe from a business standpoint, you know, you want to make more money, and I'm all for that. You know, it's a business. You got to make money. So I guess that's the reason of it. But it seemed like to me, if you were going to have one that was a little bit less than the other, okay, so the Medivac is the hard charger that goes into an area that's hot, where the Medivac is more of something that hangs back. You know, you expose it as least as possible to enemy fire, that sort of thing. Maybe that's what it is. But if that was the case, why couldn't we just said, hey, let's downgrade the bed to a tier 2, make it like the Terrapin, and I don't know, knock $80 off of it or something, or $50, something, like make it more like different. So there's like, you know, maybe somebody can't afford the Medivac, but they can get the Triage, you know, and still have a really good, you know, medical ship as far as like being able to have the capability. But human nature is what it is. We want the best. We're going to pick the Medivac every time. But there are folks out there that collect. They want all the ships, and I get it. So what's probably going to happen with most folks, they'll probably get the collectors. They'll probably purchase this one, and then they'll probably wait till the Medivac comes into the in-game store, and they'll buy it there. I'm curious what the price difference is going to be, and when it finally does make it to the in-game store. I bet it won't be much. I bet it'll almost be identical. So that's my point. I couldn't wrap my mind around why there's two of them, and but it is what it is at this point. Like I said, flight characteristics, I wouldn't expect it to be as good because it doesn't have the same amount of engines. It's not a drop ship, but it is a medical ship, and it's meant to go into, at least for this particular one, it shows it going into hot zones. I would expect it to be able to get in, be a little bit more nimble on the landing and the takeoff, and because when it's time to leave, you want to go. You know what I mean? You don't want to be you just want to get out of there. You know, and so like that slow, grueling takeoff, man, that's not what you want, man. You just want to be able to jam, pull up and leave. But all in all, the ship looks amazing. It really does. I know I've beat you guys to death over the lore piece of it, my opinions of the internals and all that jibber jabber. You can take it for what it's worth. It's just my honest, no bullshit opinion about what I see, and it's my nature to pick apart things and analyze stuff and tell you what I think would have been better from a quality assurance point of view, I guess. From a playability part of view, just in game, it could have been better, but you did give us the ability to do a little bit with it. You can take it out, and you can run bunker missions in it. I understand. I'm not beating you guys up over the sound effects on it. I know that'll be sorted out eventually, because that right there is. I know there's stuff in the issue council already about it, so I'm not going to get too nutso about sound effects and all that. The sounds are good, but obviously they're off. There's issues with it. So that's just something. That's just growing pains, and that'll get sorted out. Well, I get this ship. I was real excited for it. I know I've said this already, but when I was making a video for bunk and running ships, and when I saw that this thing has a little bit of SCU capacity and it had a ramp, I was like, well, that kind of lends itself to potential. You know, it opens up a potential to being a ship that you could use for that, not just running medical missions, but other things. Multifunctional ship, not necessarily multi-role, because the role is to be a medical ship, but can you do other things with it? You almost locked us into one thing with this little tube right here, but it's just enough wiggle room to make this thing work. My final thoughts on the ship is this: I think the ship, for its originally intended role, is as a medevac. It can do everything, right? It can do all of it. It's a gigantic ship to just be able to do that. And I think that the ship could have been, I think they could have left it as a medium-sized ship if that was the only role that they wanted it to perform. They made it bigger, but they didn't utilize all the space. And this is where I think the potential of this body style is going to probably lead to. If I was to guess, the Apollo is going to be the next constellation in the RSI lineup. That's my guess. I think that there is going to be a luxury version of this, and there's probably going to be a cargo carrying, like a Taurus type version of this, because I can see the lines. I can see the potential of this being the next constellation, and I get it. It makes sense to me. It looks amazing, and they purposely put a choke point in here to create a discernible difference, or a difference between the possibilities of the future of what this body style could be, because the body style is a winner. It really is. It looks great. The luxury version of this thing would probably look amazing. So it has the bones for it. It's got the skylight and all that kind of jazz. So you did it with a Connie. You could probably do it with this. The last thing I wanted to address with these two ships and the whole new medical bit as a whole is this Medgel. So we got a Medgel holder right here, and we got the once it's in the beds, you know, the ship does come pre-stocked. You know, all the beds are loaded. You don't have to like go buy Medgel and load the beds to make them work. And creating this Medgel thing, this ship is going to be a gigantic target for pirates. I can see it already. Like at $100,000 a pop for one of these storage containers of Medgel, there needs to be some type of secured storage for these items, or a place where we can load the or maybe a secure storage area for the Medgel where only like the ship's owner can extract it, or somebody that's part of the party, you know what I mean, can extract it, because people are going to be stealing it. If they walk in and there's 5 of these things sitting here, that's $500,000. They just walk out with it and they take it, and it's just a big juicy target for a pirate, because it's not going to be able to handle itself very well in a fight unless, you know, you get your co-pilot. If you're running solo, man, you're a sitting duck in this ship. If you had a co-pilot that could get on the turret and help you out, I could just envision it. You know, now that you've made Medgel very, very expensive, a new commodity to be looted and traded on the black market, because that's what's going to happen. They're going to steal this stuff. If they can get their hands on it, they're going to take it to Grimhex or wherever the case may be, and they're going to start selling it. And if I can get it for $50,000 a pop versus $100,000 a pop, yep, people are going to find a way to make money using it. Maybe that was part of the, you know, I agree that Medgel, that the beds shouldn't have been free, but you created a stealable commodity just that made these ships a target for pirates. And that's where I'm going to end this video. There you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If it wasn't complete garbage, please consider giving me a thumbs up, leave a comment. That would be even better. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, and I hope that you do, please consider, you know, subscribing. That would be awesome. Help the channel grow. That really helped me out. And if you have anything to add, leave me a comment. If there's something I'm like way off base on, or Anchor, you just flat wrong right here, or I disagree with you, that, man, hit me up. Let me know, and we'll get a discussion going. And it'd be awesome. You know, that's what this is all about. It's a community, and we learn from each other, we grow, and we get better. And I really enjoy looking at these ships. This is great. It's a fun game, and I just, every time, you know, if you're playing the game, you're here because you get the same feeling I do. It's like, it's just an amazing game. Is it perfect? No, but it's definitely getting better every day. And I blow them up over the little details and all, but I can see it has gotten a little better. And for all you guys, all you backers that you know, that purchased this ship 7 years ago, congratulations. I hope you enjoy the ship. I hope it's everything you thought it was going to be. I know there's bits and pieces of the whole magic carpet drone thing that's not in there yet, but hopefully that'll get put in, and because that was part of the deal. So anyway, y'all, I hope y'all have a great day. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Y'all take care. All right, man. So what did you think? Did you like it at all, or what you think? But this dude is hard to please, man. I can't do nothing right with him. Y'all have a great day, y'all. Take care. Thanks, guys.